With the 2023 MLB offseason underway, rumors are already swirling about what players might be on the move. Shohei Ohtani is about to be the best player to ever hit the free agent market in league history, and superstars like Juan Soto might be on the trade block. Needless to say, this offseason is shaping up to be one of the best offseasons of all time. In today's video, I'll be making 5 bold predictions for what I believe will happen in the MLB offseason. The first bold prediction I have for the offseason is the Rays trading Tyler Glasnow to the Los Angeles Dodgers. Roster Resource projects the Rays payroll next season to be $130 million, which is a $51 million increase over the club's 2023 payroll. While the club has stated that they're open to increasing payroll, the current 40% projected jump in payroll is before any other additions, leading them to likely explore ways to trim their payroll first. While Glasnow is projected to be their ace next season, trading him is definitely the easiest way for them to cut their payroll. Glasnow has 1 year left on his contract and is making $25 million next season. The highest amount of money the Rays have paid a player for a single season in franchise history was Charlie Morton when he made $15 million back in 2019. With the Rays' ability to find pitchers from all over the place and turn them into all-stars, I definitely see them trading Glasnow this offseason. The Los Angeles Dodgers seem like the most obvious destination for Glasnow if the Rays trade him. Dodgers president of baseball operations Andrew Friedman was the Rays general manager from 2006 to 2014, so the two clubs naturally have history there. Additionally, the two teams have swung 3 trades together since the start of the 2021 season, so the Rays aren't afraid to trade with their former associate. The Dodgers are also projected to have $97 million in cap space this offseason, so they could trade for Glasnow without the Rays absorbing any money on his contract. Additionally, poor starting pitching is the biggest reason why the Dodgers failed to win a playoff game this season, so adding an ace in Glasnow would instantly make them more formidable. 6 of the Dodgers' top 12 prospects are pitchers, so I just think Glasnow to the Dodgers for a couple of pitching prospects makes way too much sense for both sides. The second bold prediction I have for the offseason is the Orioles striking out on the top free agents. The Orioles entered the 2023 season with the 5th best odds to win the AL East according to most betting sites, and still considered a long shot to make the playoffs at all. Led by their young stars in Gunnar Henderson and Adley Rutschman, the team won 101 games in their first AL East division title since 2014. While they got swept in the ALDS by the eventual world champion Texas Rangers, the season was still a massive success, and a sign that the rebuild was over in Baltimore. Heading into the offseason, the Orioles are projected to have an incredibly low payroll of $74 million, leading most analysts and fans to believe the team will look to spend big in free agency. The Orioles' biggest weakness is definitely their starting pitching. While pitchers like Kyle Bradish, Dean Kramer, and Grayson Rodriguez all had solid seasons in the starting rotation, none of them are considered elite starting pitchers by any means. With Blake Snell and Jordan Montgomery still unsigned, one would assume the Orioles are going to try to pursue at least one of them in free agency. However, I don't think the Orioles are actually going to be able to sign any of these big names in the market. The Orioles have only ever given out one contract worth over $100 million in free agency, and it ended up being one of the worst contracts in baseball history. The team re-signed Chris Davis to a 7-year, $161 million contract after a monster 2015 season. During the contract, Davis hit .196 with a .670 OPS while posting an astounding negative .5.8 WAR. The Orioles released him after the 2020 season and he never played in MLB again. While Davis's fall-off definitely might have been a fluke, I expect the Orioles to be reluctant to hand out another 6-figure contract in free agency. Instead, I believe they will look to improve their starting rotation through the trade market. The Orioles currently have the consensus #1 farm system in baseball, headlined by the top prospect in all of baseball, Jackson Holliday. While I don't expect Holliday to be traded for anyone, they have a surplus of elite position prospects that they could part way with in a trade for an elite starting pitcher. Corbin Burns and Dylan Cease are just a few aces that I expect to be available for trade this winter, and wouldn't be surprised at all if the Orioles end up trading for one. The third bold prediction I have for the offseason is Matt Chapman getting the largest free agent contract of anyone not named Shohei Ohtani. While this upcoming free agent class isn't very deep, there are still several all-star caliber players that will be looking to get paid. Blake Snell just won the NL Cy Young Award after having an amazing season with the Padres. 25-year-old Yoshinobu Yamamoto is coming over from Japan after being one of the best pitchers there for the last several seasons. Cody Bellinger just had a fantastic resurgence season with the Cubs. Is Matt Chapman really better than any of those players? That's definitely up for debate. However, I think he's going to end up getting paid more money than any other free agent besides Shohei Ohtani. Since he debuted in 2017, Chapman has posted 31.2 B WAR, and he also had the second highest WAR on the Blue Jays in 2023. He's won 2 Platinum Gloves in 2018 and 2019, and has been consistently one of the best defensive players in baseball every season. With the designated hitter being a permanent addition to the National League, teams can now hide their worst defenders in that spot in the order. As a result of this, they're able to allocate their resources towards more defensive-minded players. Because of this defensive-focused trend and Chapman still only being 30 years old, I think he surprises a lot of people and gets over $200 million this offseason. While the top free agents are all elite players, they all still have some question marks. Blake Snell was very average for the past 2 seasons before this year. Yoshinobu Yamamoto could struggle adapting to an entirely new league. and Cody Bellinger was the worst hitter in all of baseball for 2021 and 2022. For these reasons, I truly think Chapman might be the safest option in the eyes of major league teams looking to spend big this offseason, even though he might not necessarily be the best free agent. The fourth bold prediction I have for the offseason is Clayton Kershaw retiring. For the last 3 or 4 offseasons, the rumors of Clayton Kershaw contemplating hanging the cleats up for good have consistently come about. Yet he's consistently come back to the Dodgers every year. However, I have a few reasons to believe this is going to finally be the offseason he decides to retire. For one, he just had the worst playoff start of any pitcher all time in Game 1 of the NLDS against the Arizona Diamondbacks. He only managed to get 1 out while giving up 6 runs in the process. His velocity was down significantly in this game and the regular season games leading up to it, as he barely would be able to hit 90 miles per hour with his fastball. While he had so much success in the regular season, I think these are obvious signs that his arm is finally giving up. Another reason why I think Kershaw finally retires this offseason is because he has literally nothing else to prove to anyone. Whenever he is eligible for the Hall of Fame, he'll definitely become a Hall of Famer on the first ballot, and it might even be unanimous. He's won a World Series, an MVP, 3 Cy Youngs, and is the Dodgers' all-time strikeout leader. The only accolade he'll be playing for next season is to hit 3,000 career strikeouts, as he currently sits at 2,944. No matter what he does next season, he'll go down as the greatest Dodgers pitcher of all time and one of the best pitchers in MLB history. While I would love to see him give it another shot and keep playing, I sadly think we've seen the last of Kershaw pitching in MLB. The 5th and final bold prediction I have for the offseason is Juan Soto getting traded. After trading a king's ransom for Soto at the 2022 trade deadline, the Padres were able to make it to the NLCS before bowing out to the Philadelphia Phillies in 5 games. This was the furthest they had been in the postseason since 1988, and they definitely wouldn't have gotten there without trading for Soto. As you may know, the 2023 season was an absolute disaster for the Padres. They were under 500 for almost the entire season and ended up missing the playoffs entirely after being one of the favorites to win the World Series entering the season. While the season was a complete letdown, Juan Soto was Juan Soto again. In his age 24 season, he played in all 162 games while hitting 35 home runs and posting an OPS of 930. He's clearly a top 10 player in baseball and is in the prime of his career, but you're probably wondering why the Padres would even consider trading him. I have a few reasons to believe he'll play for a different team in 2024. He's projected to earn $33 million next season and will become a free agent at the end of the season. The bidding war for his talents will be incredible, as he'll have a legitimate chance of signing for over $400 million. According to The Athletic, the Padres recently took out a $50 million loan to address short-term cash flow issues and meet their obligations. I don't know about you, but I've never in my entire life heard of a professional sports team go into debt to seemingly pay people in their organization. If the Padres are taking loans out at their current run rate, how are they going to pay Soto the monster contract he'll be looking for next offseason? Not to mention, how can you justify taking out these loans for a team that isn't even making the playoffs? As a result of this information, I believe the team is going to be forced to trade Soto this offseason. While he's still one of the best players in baseball, I don't see how the Padres can commit to adding hundreds of million dollars to their payroll while they're already in debt and they aren't even a playoff caliber team. They could definitely get multiple top tier prospects in exchange for Soto, given how he's still only 25 years old. I would assume the Mets, the Yankees, and Red Sox would be the most aggressive teams in trying to acquire his services if he's put on the trade block. That's going to wrap up the video today. This took me well over 10 hours to write and edit, so make sure you leave a like and subscribe below if you enjoyed it. Let me know your predictions for the offseason in the comments below, and I hope to see you in the next video.